Hey folks, good evening. I want to get into tonight. I want to get into being yourself and being yourself versus being a professional, such as a soldier or a leader. All right. Oftentimes, I don't know about you, but I've often been told just be yourself. Be yourself. If you try to be anything else, people will see through it, and then they won't trust you. Where I've been conflicted over the years with this concept is, there's a saying that I live by too: when in charge, be in charge. When not in charge, allow yourself to be led by those in charge. Okay. And I feel like we put on kind of a Superman cape or a different persona, different character of sorts in the army uniform, being a soldier and being a leader. And there's a personal element of Bill Brownback that sometimes gets left out or left in the back. Okay, while I'm focused on leading other soldiers. All right. So that's how it's been for me. As I think I indicated in another one of these videos, mission first was always driven into my head in the early 90s when I joined the Army. Okay. And I took that to heart a lot. I came from nothing. So I've had to work. I've had to really bust my butt for everything I've ever had. And, I joined for the money. I say that because being a volunteer fireman in my town was what was popular. I'm like, no, man, I don't want to go volunteer for stuff. If I'm going to volunteer, I want to get paid. And so I started looking at the National Guard. And that's where it all started. I mean, you say something to a recruiter, man, you're like glue then, okay? Especially if you've got the GT score and the physical attributes and mental attributes, those things, okay? And my gene pool has been good to me as far as the health goes, and I was a skinny kid, so I had the physical dynamics they were looking for, and oh yeah, he's gonna be 11 Bravo, man. Yeah, that translates into police officer if you want it to, which bullshit. No, I mean, you've got to do more than that to be a police officer. And I never wanted to be a cop, but that's a whole nother story. So, what I'm telling you is, with Mission First, leaving Bill's personal side aside in the background, that's just kind of how I am. It's what I became, and then as I matured and gained more experience as a leader, and especially into senior leadership, about that E7, E89 grade range of enlisted ranks, I learned that people would take advantage of me. Soldiers will take advantage of you based off who they think you are. And sometimes it can be a weakness. So I'm like, man, Bill, that Joe over there got one over on you. What are you going to do about that? So then I started getting into, studying a bit of psychology, manipulative personalities. Narcissist comes in there. You got gaslighting. Gaslighting is basically trying to make you believe a false story is true and that your perception and instincts are not true. That's what gaslighting is. So as I started getting into all of that, I would adopt and adapt myself to the situations I'd find myself in. So again, maybe not always completely being myself, okay? I've never been real political, okay? I just got done today addressing authenticity. It drives me nuts. What it is, folks, is people will talk in a thread online politically. And then when it's you one-on-one with them, oh, yeah, man. Yeah, I get it, man. Everything you said. Yep, that's how that used to be. That's how it should still be. And, whoa, who is this? Who's this guy, man? Because online in the threads, right? All I see is politically correct, and everything is roses and rainbows, and anything I think, anything negative I bring up is quickly shot down. But then when we're one on one, it's time to be cool, But so monitor that of yourself as well. And I think that's probably what people mean by be yourself. All right. And I think one thing that I look back on that worked for me was you could come at me sideways, man. We burn a building down in our minds in a setting of talking. Okay. And I come from a chatty family, so I wasn't always a good listener. I still have to work on active listening, to be honest with you. But, Joe could come to me, come in my office, whatever, and get bent on me, man. Come at me sideways. Just respect the rank, man. And just vent about whatever it is. I tell you a story, man. When I put on CSM and I went to the medical unit, I was quite overwhelmed, honestly. I couldn't show it, but I was pretty overwhelmed at times. And we had a logistics guy, actually a property book guy, and he'd lay it on me. He'd let me know what was going on, and I'm just like trying to make mental notes. I'm trying to grab paper and pen, and he's like, "No, Sergeant Major, just listen. All right. So what I found in that was it was okay to just listen. Just shut up and listen. Don't make a note, okay? Maybe a mental note. But I learned so much from those moments, man. I'll never be a PBO. I'll never be a logistic expert because honestly, it was my weakest category anyway, and it still probably ranks right up there with the weakest. But I knew personnel. I know personnel, and I've never done studying personnel, but it helped me become a better leader, a more well-rounded leader, honestly. I didn't have to always be Mr. Fix-It. The Superman cape could drape at times, It didn't have to always be flying. So just, think about those things. And I think that's sometimes maybe that's who I am. And but there's times where you got to put the poker face on too, is what I'm trying to say, and maybe shield who you are a little bit so that you're not taken advantage of. You're taken seriously as well, and serious in different manners, okay? So we talk about styles of leadership. One style doesn't always fit all. One size doesn't fit all. I'm pretty direct, pretty matter of fact, pretty straightforward, straight shooter. I have to monitor that. That doesn't work in every situation. I can guarantee you that doesn't work in every situation. Somebody taught me once, don't show all your cards, Why are you showing all your cards? Okay. Think about that. Think about whether you're showing your hand or not. There's got to be trust and security. There's got to be faith. Okay. And I just wanted to talk about that, this soldier versus person. I believe there is a soldier. Okay. We are soldiers. All right. And where it's different from being a person is we have to put all our beliefs aside sometimes and go fight the battle for the United States. That's what we're here to do. Okay. That's different than just being a person. All right. It's different than just being people in uniform. We're soldiers. All right. We live by the Army values. You got some creeds out there we live by, right? And sometimes our beliefs don't matter, man. Got to throw that crap aside. You got to go charge the hill. You got to go give care under fire. Give care in a hospital. Go teach a class. Even if we don't fully 100% buy into it, it's the Army way. And so I believe that is being a soldier. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, man. I'll never forget my black boot days, man. Black boots, BDUs. I felt like I was something at times, man. Those drill sergeants had pounded into us about shining your boots, glassy boots. And, My unit pounded into me about press uniforms, and you get out there marching, and oh, it just felt good sometimes, man. Doing the whole rigid march and everything else, and DNC, and I know everybody hates DNC now, and we got into post 9/11, and we don't need DNC anymore. Is what the belief is, but I think it's going to come back. I think everything's cyclic. It comes back around the military. What was once old is new again. All right, so anyway, point of this discussion is I want to touch on soldier versus person. If you're a definitive butthole type person or a prick, that has its advantages and disadvantages. If you're a nice guy, that has its advantages and disadvantages. Be able to figure yourself out. Go take the Myers-Briggs test, the MBTI test. There's some free versions out there. If you haven't done it, take one of those tests, okay? It helps you figure out who you are. There's some good books out there. I just had a book turned on to me, and for the life of me right now, I can't ping it. Anyway, I hope this is helpful, and that's it for now on being a soldier versus being yourself or being a person. Whoa.